ladies, another day of processing tomatoes. I decided, since I did not have a very good tomato harvest, in fact I only got one tomato off of multiple plants, I'll have you know. I bought a box of tomatoes from a local farmer. This is my second box. The first one we did tomato sauce, tomato soup. This time I'm going to dehydrate some, and then I think I have 2 or 3 recipes I'm going to can. But I'm getting these washed up to get in the dehydrator to get them going. I'm not quite sure how many I'm going to need for the other stuff, so I'm just going to start small with the dehydrator. And so this is just a little bit of vinegar and water. I'm going to get them washed up, let them dry, get them sliced, get them in the dehydrator, and move on to the next tomato project. Hi, it's Tina, the girl in the garden, and today I'm in the kitchen pretending like I've grown tomatoes. I'm going to get started. I know I said that we were doing tomatoes today, but before I get started on my tomatoes, because that's going to make a big mess, I need to get my quiche in the oven. And as usual, I am using frozen pie crust. There's 2 to the package. 6 eggs, a pound of bacon, and probably about a half a cup of mushrooms I chopped, a cup and a third of heavy cream, and 2 cups of a cheddar blend of cheese. I'm going to mix it all up, get it in the pan so we can get it cooking. All right, all mixed up in our pie pans. Now it's going in at 425 for about 15 minutes, and then I'm going to reduce the oven to 300 and clean up my mess. Okay, back to our tomatoes. So I have just sliced them up, and I'm going to put them in the dehydrator at 125, and I'm not even going to worry about the time because I'm going to keep checking on them. I do have more to slice up, but I wanted to get this done so you could see. I think I've done it before in another video, but just in case, I core the tomato, I cut off any bad spots, and then I just slice them. They go on the tray, and then I dehydrate. All right, let me get the rest done. And our finished product. I had to run out to take care of the chickens, so I'm a little out of breath. But I'm gonna let these cool, then we'll do a taste test. I'm still slicing tomatoes. I don't know why the first piece is never the prettiest, but that's what it looks like. And that's what I'm eating for lunch today. I didn't get a fork. Oh, my mess. It's still pretty hot. Delicious. Let's get back to tomatoes. All right, folks, I did all the prep work off camera. Today we're doing jalapeno salsa with those tomatoes. Don't forget we're dehydrating some as well. The quiche was absolutely delicious. So here I have 3 cups of tomatoes, 3 cups of jalapenos. I think it was 6. Let me see. Yeah, let me start over. 3 cups tomatoes, 3 cups jalapenos, 1 cup chopped onions, and 6 garlic cloves. I've got my cider vinegar, 1 cup. I've got my spices, 2 teaspoons oregano, 1½ of salt, and 1/2 of cumin. There's my onions, and that's it. And it just says basically I'm going to put them all in my pan, and I'm going to bring it to a boil and boil, reduce the heat and boil softly for 10 minutes. So let me get to it. And everything's in the pot together. So I'm going to leave it on high heat, stirring constantly, bring it to a boil, turn it down, and soft boil for 10 minutes. All right, I'll be back. All right. I think it's almost boiling pretty good. Now, it didn't tell me how finely to chop these or how finely not to chop them. So part of it I chopped finely and part of it I did not. I'll see what it cooks down to. I might take my immersion blender and get rid of some of the bigger tomato chunks. Well, it will get rid of a lot of chunks, not just tomato, but it's the tomato chunks I'm worried about. I can eat them in small bites, not big ones. So, all right, I'm gonna keep it cooking. That's a lot of steam. I think it's time to turn it down and soft boil for 10 minutes. We are halfway through. We got 5 more minutes, and you can see it's thickening up. And this makes 6 8-ounce. I did not read the size of the jar, so I'll be making 3 pints, I guess. All right, well, we're almost done, and then it's gonna be time to ladle. All right, we are done. It is time to start ladling. Let me grab a jar. Okay, and we're gonna leave a 1/2 inch of headspace, and I got me one of these because I couldn't find mine. And that's it. That's how you ladle it in. Here's our 2 jars. It wasn't even 3. There was a little bit extra left, so we're going to, I put it in a little bowl, and we're going to maybe make some shashuka tomorrow and use it up. Okay, so now we're gonna water bath this for 15 minutes. So once we put them in, they have to come up to a boil. Then it's 15 minutes from that full boil. Take the lid off for 5 minutes, turn it off, take the lid off for 5 minutes, then we'll come in and take the jars out. All right, be back. Lots of steam, but we're at a hard boil. I just realized I forgot to put a little bit of vinegar in my water because we have hard water. So that's why my cans come out with a film on them. I'll clean them up afterwards. Let's give it 15 minutes. All right, our 15 minutes are up. We're gonna let it sit for 5 minutes. Then we're gonna take the jars out and see if we can hear some pings. Our 5 minutes is up. Will it ping, pinga, pinga? I don't see any bubbling in it. Oh, there, I saw a bubble.
I see bubbling in it.
I think this is the first time we have not heard a ping right away. We're gonna give it a few seconds here. But you can see what the hard water does, how it leaves a residue. So I'll just wash them up with vinegar and water and clean them up and label them. I get so excited when I hear the ping, and I usually hear at least one right after we take them out. No pings yet, so we'll have to wait. All right, I'm gonna let them cool for 24 hours, and then we're gonna check the seal because I was not in here. I did not hear them ping. I mean, they kind of feel like they have, but we'll follow the book instructions on how to check it, and I'll show you that. Then we're gonna move on to our next project. And oh my goodness, I don't remember the name of it. I think we have an herbed tomato sauce and a salsa ranchero, I think is what it is. Don't quote me. We'll see. Let's let this sit for 24 hours. It's the next morning, and the book said for me to take off the rings, push down. They are sealed. Woohoo! Jalapeno salsa is done. Now I've got tomatoes for the next project. Let's get moving. The tomatoes are chopped. Goodness gracious. And then we're going to put in garlic. How much garlic? Is that 3 cloves?
Yep.
I'll let Kyle come back and clean out the little bit that's left. And then we have salt, pepper, and bay leaves. The directions said to combine the first 5 ingredients, and then we're going to cook it for, I think it's an hour. And then we'll add more ingredients. We got everything out here getting ready to this. And then it cooks for another 45 minutes, and it makes 4 8-ounce jars. So I grabbed the right kind of jar and the right amount of jars. All right, let's get this poured in the pan and start cooking. So we're about 20 minutes into this, and as you can see, it's just now starting to simmer. The directions doesn't say to time it after it comes to a boil, I don't think. Let me check. It says for an hour or until it's reduced by half. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what this deliciousness looks like. And you know what? In the ball canning book, which is what I'm using the recipe from, right? For this recipe on the next page, they have a recipe where you use it to top a meatloaf. And if you remember when I did my redo of the retro meatloaf, I had some tomato onion bacon jam in the freezer. I didn't can that one. And I used it and it was delicious. So I don't know if I have seen this before or what made me think to do that, but hey, I was on the right track. All right, let's keep going. So we have reduced by about half. Kind of see the lines there. So now we are going to add in sugar, herbs de Provence, and balsamic vinegar, and a dry white wine.
Which is all mixed in this cup.
Yeah, we kind of mix it all together. Kyle's in the kitchen with me today, so he's going to stir this up for me. All right, so he has to bring it back to a boil, and he has to boil for 45 minutes. It's supposed to be just chicken, I think, though. Oh, hi. All right, we are almost done here. It's almost been boiling for another 45 minutes. We did take the immersion blender to it. So, you still see a little bit of the skins in there. But it's not, they don't seem to be too big. So, we're going to probably let it cook down just maybe 15 more minutes. And then we're going to get to ladling up in our jars. All right, we'll be back. Well, our tomato jam is ready to go in the jars. However, I turned on the wrong burner to warm up the jars. So we're going to have to wait a few more minutes. So we just put this on low just to keep it hot. We'll be back as soon as our jars are hot. We're going to start our ladling process. All right, I got to use 2 hands to measure that headspace. All right, sorry, I forgot to turn the camera back on. So we did get our 4 jars, and we actually got a pint jar, and there's still a little bit left. So, but like I said, I do know there was a problem with the recipe because it had 9 ingredients listed, but it only had me adding 8. So the herbs de Provence we added at the end with everything else because it didn't tell us when to do it. So maybe this was actually supposed to be 6 of these guys. I don't know. I don't think that would fit either. I mean, 4 of these guys. That might have worked. Anyway, okay, we're getting ready to actually put it in the canner and water bath it for it's either 10 or 15 minutes. We're ready. We're ready to take them out. We got a nice little mess here. We got one more round of canning to do. Oh, look at that. We added a little bit of vinegar, and that hard water did not put grime on my jars. Oops, something pinged. 2 pings. Okay, well, we know 2 have already pinged. 3 now, or is that 4 now? I don't know, I forgot. Anyway, all right, the next thing we're doing is salsa ranchero, and we've actually got to roast our veggies. So let us get this area cleaned up so we can start another batch. All right, when I was doing some editing, I noticed that this video is already at 15 minutes, probably a little bit longer. So the last tomato canning project we're doing, which is the ranchero salsa, that's going to be its whole own video. I also forgot that I dehydrated tomatoes for this video, so they went about 24 hours and they're pretty crispy, and because I forgot, I did not record that part. But basically this I'm going to put through like a coffee grinder or a spice grinder, and I'm going to make it powder. And then we can actually add liquid to it, water, to make tomato juice, tomato sauce, tomato paste. I'm going to try like maybe adding it like some of the quiches I'm making. Maybe I could throw some tomato powder in there. Get more veggies in my food. So anyway, that's the end of our video, and I'm sorry that you didn't get the salsa ranchero. Those are still pretty hot. Canning on this video, but I will get it on the next one. So we're going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, and we'll get the next one started. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stick around for a while if you'd like to see more videos like this. Comment below and just say hi, because me and Kyle would love to meet you. And don't forget to share with anybody you think that might like this video. This is Tina, the girl in the garden. Sometimes I'm in the kitchen. And I'll see you next time.